Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to do an update on the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light fiasco. There's been a lot of new information that has come out, like who the VP of Bud Light is, and it's better than you can possibly imagine. I'm sure many of you have heard about it, but some of you may not have. We're going to go over that. We're going to take a look at some of the people that are unfortunately suffering financially due to this decision. People who require Bud Light to sell and, Anheuser-Busch products to sell to make a living. We're going to be looking at the aftermath of what they chose to do. But what I wanted to start with, I was minding my own business on YouTube. And for some reason, YouTube decided to recommend to me an ad, which I thought ads were supposed to be like AI learning and sophisticated and brilliant, and they can recommend ads perfectly for you. Well, I don't know if the AI is having a bit of a malfunction, but let me show you the ad that YouTube recommended to me. I'm not kidding.
Did you just say you wish for a candy?
Let's see. Oh boy.
God, I love native deodorant. I just wish it smelled like candy.
Dylan, did you just say you wish for a candy-scented deodorant?
Yeah?
Try this.
Native candy shop collection and gummy bear scent?
Just try it.
Okay.
Plus, it's aluminum and paraben free.
Oh my gosh, I literally smell like gummy bears. I wish my whole body could smell like this.
You're in luck.
A gummy bear scented body wash? I know you can't eat these, but I wish I had some real gummy bears right now.
Here you go.
Oh, oh. I usually don't accept candy from strangers, but thank you. Wait, who even are you?
Don't worry about that. Just enjoy the native products. Love ya.
Love you too.
Okay, so, uh, boy, there's a lot wrong. Well, what have made that actually pretty funny is if she put the gummy bear in her mouth and she's like, "Hey, is this soap?" It was soap gummy bears. She started eating them. Anyway, that was repulsive. I don't know why YouTube would recommend it to me. I don't know if they're trying to tell me something. Boy, you are barking up the wrong tree with that ad. And I don't understand. I don't understand why a company would do it. Maybe for the attention. Like, I don't know who Native Partner is. But yeah, that's pretty atrocious. On a much more positive note, we have reached 15 followers on the Fan Advocacy Network Rumble page. Thank you so much, people who have come over. We're building something here. We're building a rocket ship to the fucking moon. Now, I know some people look at this and they say, "Oh, that 15, that's not much." Understand that it was probably a couple days ago. I had 7 followers. In fact, I had less than that. I had 6. We're up to 15. We're on our way to 20. And baby, let me tell you, every step of the way helps. Every person who subscribes helps. And so, one of my videos gets, I don't know, if I were to get 300 views on a video, and 10% of them were to go over and subscribe at Rumble, we'd be in the money, baby. It's incremental steps. We're growing. We're doing good. And this video right here, with Stone Cold Steve Austin calling YouTube a big piece of trash, this is why I want so desperately to get off of YouTube. Because their system is broken. And I'm not going to go into this whole thing. You can go and watch it if you want. It's 10 minutes. But essentially, a 40-minute video that I did, a 40-minute fucking video, was claimed by a company for 17 seconds of music that was not from me. It was from a fucking ad. That's right. An ad was playing that I couldn't control. I couldn't, I didn't make it play that. It was an intrusive ad. I was reacting to another channel. So the ad played, and then they used that as an opportunity to claim the video and made it ineligible for monetization and blocked it in certain countries. So that is just grotesque and unacceptable on every level. So, yeah, if you could go over to Rumble, it's free. It doesn't cost you a cent. You go over, you follow the Fan Advocacy Network, and you be part of something. You be part of growing this, because what I want to do here, and I'll just tell you real quick before we get into the main topic of today's video, I want to grow this. I want this to be huge. I want Rumble to be able to use my channel and other channels to say, look at these organically grown platforms. Look at these channels that grew on Rumble. I want more people to come to Rumble. I want people to use this because, as we saw, Steven Crowder was banned again. Why? No legitimate reason. So I am sick and tired of YouTube's bullshit. I'm sick and tired of the way that they treat other people that they disagree with. They have people working there that are not in favor of free speech, that arbitrarily enforce the rules, that have their favoritism and all of that. They do not enforce the rules equally. So I want to get on a platform that doesn't ban people like Steven Crowder. Whatever you think of Steven Crowder, I like him. I think he's funny. You may hate him. Regardless, he deserves to be on the platform because he has a large audience that wants to listen to him. And a bunch of fat lesbianic weirdos think that they can determine what you should be allowed to listen to. My answer to that is a giant fucking middle finger telling these people to fuck off. So, on that cheery note, let's take a look at this video from Tim Cast. This was an actual revelation that the stock and sales plummet. Okay, so I'll just be honest. The plummet part is it's exaggeration. It's hyperbolic, but the stock did decline. Now you could say, well, that's from that could be from anything. But Tim makes a good point in this video. He talks about how trust in a company is a huge thing, because if you're investing your money in a company, you want that company to be able to, how do I put this? You want a company to represent you in a way. So if a company comes out and they do something that scares you or doesn't make sense to you, you're going to lose money. They're not acting with the best interest of the investor when they promote people like Dylan Mulvaney. Because Dylan Mulvaney is a very offensive person, considering the fact that she is promoting an ideology like transgenderism, which has recently been involved in the murder of children. You have, the sexualization of children going on across the country, both in school and at, drag story hour and all of these disgusting events that are combining adults dressing like women in sexual ways with young, impressionable children. I just noticed this. You know what's funny? I watched like one video from a VTuber, and all of a sudden it's like I'm getting recommended. They actually want me to go watch. Look, if you like this person, I'm just saying that now all of a sudden they want me to go watch all of the live streams of these VTubers, and I'm like, are you out of your goddamn mind? The only way that you're going to get me to watch a VTuber stream is if you strap me down and it's a form of torture. I'm not going to waste my time like that. That's a bit of an aside. I just noticed this. It's like I watch one clip of something and all of a sudden it's everywhere. Same thing with the quartering, oddly enough. The quartering talks about how, oh, YouTube doesn't recommend me. YouTube does nothing but recommend him. I mentioned the quartering in one video, and I watched a bit of one video, and they won't stop recommending him. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, come on, YouTube. Anyway, let's get back to it.
The backlash over the Dylan Mulvaney and Pride Bud Light campaign is getting a lot worse, and I'm honestly surprised the degree to which people were deeply perturbed by what Bud Light did. For those that aren't familiar, Bud Light recently announced a partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney, of course, is prominently known as the TikTok trans influencer documenting the days of girlhood. Now, my view is that Dylan Mulvaney is not actually trans. Dylan Mulvaney, I believe there is strong evidence, is just a clout chaser who is doing whatever possible to get attention. And I've actually spoken with some trans people about their thoughts on this, and there are questions that come up around what Dylan Mulvaney chooses to do in order to fit the mold. Now, all that aside, the one thing I find really fascinating here is that many woke people are saying Bud Light's doing better than ever, but objectively, they're not. Right now, Anheuser-Busch stock is down 2.41%. Now, I'm not gonna say.
You see, 2.1% drop. Not great, but that's not a plummet. Now, you could say, well, maybe the sales have plummeted, but the way that it's phrased is for clickbait. I'm not about clickbait. Maybe a little bit. And maybe a little bit just to titillate. But I think this is an outright fabrication from Tim. Because it's like, if you listen to what he says, he's going to say, well, I'm not going to say that the boycott is a direct result of, but read this headline and listen to what he says.
Sit here and claim that's absolute evidence of a backlash against Anheuser-Busch. I honestly...
Yeah. You see what I mean? There's nothing wrong with this, by the way. It just, if this is what you want to do. But for me, I'm more interested in, in the details and facts. If you want to click on my video, you're going to click on my video. If you're not, you're not. I don't feel the need to do this. But there is a small decline. Will it get bigger? Who knows? Like I mentioned, it's all about trust. It's all about how confident are you? Confidence, I think that's the key word. How confident are you investing your money in this brand? For me, there's no way. I'm not putting a dime behind Anheuser-Busch because I have no confidence in the company. They have been silent on this. And the videos from the vice president, which we're going to look at in a minute here, whew, boy. Yeah, does not instill confidence.
Don't know for sure. Every company can see a swing in its stock, but I gotta be honest. If you were investing in a product that decided to insult its core base, that's not a product you probably want to have investment in. Now, I'm not here to give you financial advice or anything. I'm just saying, if I invested in baseball bats and then they decided to have, say, I don't know, a pop star start advertising the baseball bats and then actually mock you and say, I don't even know what baseball is, so who cares? Buy the product.
He brought it around again. Yeah, it's bringing in a celebrity that doesn't really know what they're talking about, which is what a lot of companies do. It's what YouTube did with Will Smith before he ruined his career by revealing that all along he's been an insufferable, unbearable, soy-based piece of shit. But before that, yeah, he was like the coolest guy around, so they brought him in, even though he had nothing to do with YouTube. And while he didn't insult people, necessarily in his appearance, yeah, it was kind of odd to watch him, make a fool out of himself on YouTube when he has nothing to do with YouTube, really.
You might be like, huh? And that's exactly what Dylan Mulvaney did with March Madness, coming out and being like, I don't even know what that is. Woohoo, beer. And then you've got a bunch of like 30-year-old dudes sitting back, cracking open a cold one, being like, I'm supposed to want to buy Budweiser Busch. But this goes of just, this is amazing. Empty beer shelves, and then
Marketing
when
guy.
he moves to the right, all the Bud products are still
Only you
there.
could
On
take-
the other side, Michelob and Busch, which is all Anheuser-Busch. But there's a ton of these videos. In this video, this guy says he's an affiliate sales rep for Bud Light products, and they can't move product right now. And he's like, I'm actually kind of worried because I got to sell Bud Light to make a living for my family. But of course, I want to show you these videos first so you can really feel what people are saying about it. But I want to make a few points. This Anheuser-Busch is throwing money at Dylan Mulvaney. You should. What's happening?
All right,
Perspective
let me
on
get
Bud
to
Light's
the-
embracing the transgender illness.
let me
Someone
get-
really good point.
Tim is extremely long-winded. Let's
If
get
you've
to
got
the
people
point.
who use, for the most part, I suppose, for those
There
who are
we go.
boycotting Anheuser-Busch,
There we go,
take a
Tim.
look at
Come on.
this.
Come
you
on,
can
Tim.
see
You
Natty.
can do
This
it.
is
Get to the heart of the matter.
Look, I'm
Come
going
on,
to say
Tim.
this.
Come on, Tim.
I would not be surprised.
God damn it, Tim. Tim, you're great on some things, but Jesus Christ, you talk a lot. Just get to the goddamn point. We are how many minutes into your video? Too long into your video? And you still haven't gotten to the point. Tim, let me educate you on how to do a proper video. You get to your point first. This is not about how to make a YouTube video that strings people along. This is how to format a video that, well, actually, who knows? Maybe he has the right approach. Maybe being long-winded and making people wait a long time, maybe that is the right way to do it. But for me, I just want to get to the heart of the matter. I want to get to the meat and potatoes. Give me the important information, and then you can give your opinion and commentary afterwards. That's how it should be. But Tim likes to talk a whole hell of a lot.
Surprised if this stuff is staged. To show a cooler where the Natty Light, Anheuser-Busch, and Busch products, obviously Anheuser-Busch, and then as they pan over, you can see empty, where it's Miller Lite and Coors. Now, and I want to stress this too, Miller Lite and Coors have done Pride campaigns before too. But I think Dylan Mulvaney is really what pisses people off. And then you can see all the Budweiser and Bud Light unsold. Okay. I want to explain something to all of these woke leftists who are coming out being like, Bud Light, it's not so much a boycott of, there's a woman, and she's like, Bud Light knew that they need to capture the younger demographic that's aging into drinking, and that they needed to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's the same nonsense that and I know that people don't like to hear this, and I've gotten some pushback on this. Let me repeat myself. Women make terrible leaders. Terrible leaders. In most cases. There are a few examples where that's not true. I would say Margaret Thatcher, the Queen of England. There are some examples of women who have been phenomenal leaders. But generally speaking, no. Absolutely not. And if you think I'm just making a general statement, yes, that's true, but I also have evidence to back it up. And these aren't literal examples. Kathleen Kennedy ruining Star Wars. That was one of the biggest franchises. Disney bought that for over $4 billion. That was an instant moneymaker with a built-in loyal fan base. You almost couldn't fail with that. You could fuck up in 1,000 different ways, and the fan base would still support you. There was almost no way to fuck up, but Kathleen Kennedy, with her ego and her stupidity and her need to girl boss everything up and her need to rape and pillage the original material, both the original trilogy and the prequels, for content to make her empire on, she managed to ruin Star Wars to the point where we're what, 7-8 years later, and they announce a Star Wars movie, and most people, like the critical drinker, myself, Tyrone Maggs, we don't give a shit. We don't care. We're not jumping up and down like, oh my God. You know, Geeks and Gamers isn't going out there acting excited. He's not acting excited. He's like, you want me to get excited again for this? Bullshit. Star Wars Theory. I mean, he's like, yeah, a new Star Wars video. Come on, guy. Like, you want that guy to win. Star Wars Theory. I want the movie to be good just for him alone. But it's like, you have that. You have Susan Wojcicki with YouTube, who fucked up the platform irrevocably. You have so many examples. This VP of Bud Light. I mean, these are a couple examples of women in being top tier executive positions that have fucked up their companies, their reputations, their brands, and cost them and their brand and their reputation millions, if not hundreds of millions, or in the case of Kathleen Kennedy, billions of dollars. So understand, when I say that women are not good leaders, it's a goddamn truth. It may not be comfortable, you may not like to hear it, but Jesus Christ, there's enough evidence. And you can say, well, what about men? Well, let's see. George Lucas created Star Wars. Has there been a... do you like Lord of the Rings? The only example that you could use of a woman to be comparable is J.K. Rowling, and the left fucking despises her. Now, I love J.K. Rowling because of her work on her books. I think she's an absolute blithering idiot when it comes to far left policies that she utters online. But the point is, the only person that they could use to counter, you know, women can make, is J.K. Rowling, who they absolutely hate. So yeah, women ruin everything. They should not be in executive positions. And if you think that a woman president would be better for the world, you are out of your goddamn mind.
Blah, blah. Oh, okay. Gen Zers who are like 5 years into drinking versus the other 50 years of life people have where they are drinking. That's what they're saying? They're saying they decided to sacrifice everything for people who are like 26 years old. Okay, you know what, dude? Spare me. The reality is this stings, and they know it. And I think it's a good thing. I think people should absolutely boycott Bud Light, and they should say, don't get involved in this stuff. It's just plain and simple. But I want to explain to all these leftists who are like, you know, they're just disregarding you as a customer. Yep.
Enlisted is the free, brand new online World War II shooter. Command a squad of soldiers and participate in legendary battles of the second...
Maybe
No, I don't drink Bud Light. I don't drink beer. I don't drink... Look, if I'm going to drink a beer, and I will sometimes, rarely, if ever, it's going to be like a craft microbrew or some other pretentious snooty beer.
God, I fucking hate you, Tim. I knew you were going to say that. Jesus fucking Christ, I hate you, Tim. God, it's such the most snobbish... God. You know, the thing is, I actually liked him, but I fucking hate him. Because he does this thing where he'll be like, oh, I'm going to go on the weekend and have a beer and pizza with the boys. And we're going to watch the sport. It's like, Tim, you're fucking phony. You probably don't watch sports. You probably are working on the weekend. And even if you had time off, you probably wouldn't spend it watching football. You wouldn't be ordering a pizza, most likely. You'd probably be like, well, I have to go get it and make it myself from scratch. Because who knows the pesticides they put in the... You seem like, you know, you have a gluten intolerance, or, you know, you don't seem like that guy. You're not that guy, Tim. You're not the guy to grab a beer with the buddies. But you always say that, like, oh, well. But then he says something like this, which I think is honestly true, that he doesn't drink beer. And I think this is far more accurate, that he's a snob about this. I don't drink that pedestrian beer. Fuck you, Tim. There's nothing wrong with pedestrian beer. There's nothing wrong with a good old average beer. You don't have to get a microbrew bullshit. You can just enjoy a regular average ass beer. Like the rest of the country, Tim. You goddamn pompous, prissy, beanie hat wearing, social justice warrior. Goddamn it.
Like, I'm going to go to a local brewery and try their Honey Crisp Ale or something like that.
Tim.
I'm not going to drink Bud Light.
Oh, you're breaking my balls. I don't mind you not drinking Bud Light, Tim, but goddamn.
That's the biggest problem. But let me just put it simply. I have no issue with trans, and this is what I think the left doesn't understand.
I do. Oh, absolutely I do. If you don't have a problem with trans at this point, you're not paying attention, and I think that's a cowardly statement. You absolutely should have a problem with trans people at this point. Not because they choose to delusionally believe they're a different gender. People believe things that are wrong and lunatic all the time. There are people who are flat earthers. I'm not making videos on flat earthers. I think they're stupid, but who the fuck cares? My position for trans people would, that would extend to them the same. Because I don't have a fear of trans people. I have a rational and righteous disdain for trans people because of what they're pushing in culture, because of the fact that they constantly go after children, which is creepy. And in the olden days, it was met with a bullet or a noose, which I think is the appropriate reaction when you go after children sexually. Sexually. When you have grown men dressing up as women, twerking in front of young kids, and you have people going out there and doing that, I think that is a public nuisance. And I think that requires a more extreme response than, say, a bunch of drag adults get together and have an 18-plus event. And 18-year-old adults, people who are adults, go and enjoy the show and throw dollar bills on stage. I don't give a fuck about that. I would never go to one. I think it's disgusting. But I'm not an authoritarian cunt like these people, so I would say, you go have your event, just keep it out of the public square. Don't go about bringing kids, and we'll be fine. But that's not what they want to do. They want to indoctrinate your kids. They want to bring your kids into the fold because they want to add more members to their ranks. They want to sexualize your kids. And my answer to that is no. No, you don't get to sexualize kids. And if you think you do, well, I mean, it's either a jail cell or a bullet. You get to choose. We're not forcing this choice on you, but if you go after kids to sexualize them, you either get to go to jail or, a father or at a certain point is going to take the law into his own hands. We'd rather that not happen, so that, the correct response is to remove trans adults from young kids, essentially. So yeah, I think that's a cowardly statement, Tim. You absolutely should have a problem with trans people at this point.
Okay? You've got a bunch of transgender activists complaining about this and defending Bud Light. Right now, we've got the guy from The Offspring, not like we actually like this guy anyway. Offspring's Noodle says, band will stock Anheuser-Busch Jack Daniels.
All right, so yeah, you get the point. This guy's a a wretched piece of garbage. But Jesus Christ, how long is it? It takes 10 minutes into this 24-minute video.
Anheuser-Busch, the sponsoring of the algorithmic of the crisis, in that consequences and his will apparently what they've done.
I mean, I've never seen such little sales. I work for an
Anheuser-Busch, so you can see the real ramifications of what they've done.
I just want to point out that it took Tim 12 minutes, half the length of the video, to get to this. Tim, I respect the hustle, man, but brevity is the soul of wit.
In this video, let me just play this video for you of this dude.
Thank you.
You can see for yourself.
Finally.
I work for an affiliate company. I am a merchandiser, and the sole product of the company I work for is Anheuser-Busch products. So with all this canceling going on, I've never seen such little sales in this past few days on these products. And it's sad because when people don't buy this beer, I don't make money, and I can't feed my family.
God, YouTube has so many more ads.
So it's kind of heartbreaking, I guess, that Anheuser-Busch did what they did. They don't know their clientele. So it's kind of heartbreaking. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch. I may not be able to feed my family coming up here soon.
Now, I think a lot of it is, to be completely honest, exaggeration.
God, thanks, Tim. Where are you pulling that out from? Your ass? God, he's Tim. Tim is great. It's like Tim is great. Like some of the stuff is great, but some of the stuff he just pulls out of his ass. Oh, I think that guy was just making it up. He's exaggerating. Well, I mean, yeah, he probably will still be able to feed his family. But what he's saying is, you're taking food off my table, and that people can understand.
I think there's a lot of hyperbole. I think a lot of people are really, really, really trying to drive home the, nobody's buying Anheuser-Busch. But to be honest, in this guy's video, I'll take his word for it. I mean, I'm assuming he actually is who he says he is, but it's the internet, so who knows? There's a lot of other beers behind him that haven't sold either. I mean,
Tim, again, goddamn Tim. So here's the thing, Tim. You may not understand, considering the fact that you probably haven't had a normal job in decades. There's something called restocking. So if this guy's coming in and telling you that they're not selling, they're not moving volume, Tim, fucking smooth brain over here, thinks that, well, if people buy a bunch of it, then the stores, the stocks are going to be empty. Well, that can be true if they completely run out. That's massive. But what this guy is saying is, this product here is still here. It hasn't moved. That's not to say that Coors or these other things are, they're not selling well. No, they could just have a ton of stock in the back and they're replenishing it. Which, I mean, if you look here, there are some gaps here, and it's pretty clear here that people have been buying some of the stuff. This is not a huge, full, complete setup over here. If they were just brimming with the stuff, the setup would be different. My point here is that because you see some of the beer over here, it's like, oh, well, it's not selling. No, that's not how it works. They have a limited number of these out. But then when they sell out, immediately somebody goes and gets more and puts them back. What he's saying is, no one's buying them. So they're not moving at all. Because it's about volume. Obviously, this is not the entire stock of the store, Tim. And I'm sure you know that. But your analysis is saying, well, look at, there's beer over here. Yeah, I would say that there is noticeably less of this. But I imagine that a lot of it is because they are restocking this with what they have. So, I think that's a little bit silly of Tim to...
It could also be that the dude just bought a Bud Light shirt, put an earpiece in, and then lied and made a fake video on the internet.
Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, that is possible. I guess.
Because, well, who would do that? But I don't know. I'll take him at his word for now. Because I do think when you look at the stock, you are seeing minus 2.41%. That matters. Let's see. Let's talk about that. Let's say you got $100,000 invested in Anheuser-Busch. You just lost a couple grand. Not feeling too good. And if you had $1 million, you lost 20-something grand.
Tim, it's not necessarily about how much money you lose if you have that much invested. Again, it's about confidence. So you could lose 20 grand, but if you're still bullish on your company, you're like, you've got confidence on this, that this is going to rebound back. Like, for example, I had a lot of money invested in Apple a couple of years ago. And what happened is Apple went down. And they went down, down. It was not good. I was looking at that going, God, where's the nearest noose? But I knew that as a company, Apple would rebound. So I didn't pull my money. I didn't panic. And honestly, at a certain point, I stopped caring. I'm like, whatever. Apple rebounded and surpassed what I had put in there. I had confidence in the company. Now, the reason I say that is because if I had no confidence in the company, like, for example, they had done a bit of advertising with Dylan Mulvaney, and country stars were coming out and saying, we're not ever going to use Apple again. Apple's not welcome here at our shows. You had multiple people doing that. You have this whole thing where people are saying, we're not going to patronize Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, that would be a major issue. That would cause concern. That would make me nervous. I would lose confidence in the company, which means I'm more likely to take the loss and take out my money and invest it in somewhere that I am confident in. Now, 2.14 is not a huge loss, but it is a decline. He's right. But the point is that the confidence is gone. And that's the key thing here. It's not just about one thing. When you lose confidence in a company, it's hard to get it back.
All right. So this does have an impact. However, they decided to throw, and the problem is, sales have been down. Sales are down. It's beer. It's like, alcohol is supposed to do well in crisis moments. When you celebrate, you drink. When you're depressed, you drink. How are we? Well, no, beer sales across the board are actually doing fairly well. I think.
Tomorrow is happening right now because at Enbridge, we're modernizing our operations to.
Tomorrow is not happening right now.
Products.
Oh boy.
You know.
Let's watch this. Come on.
I don't think words are really necessary about what's happening right now. But for Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, all Bud products, if you know me, you know how many of these get refilled in my fridge every week. But today, they go down the drain. And the Coors would be my choice. Hope you're proud, Bud Light.
Yeah.
Hope it pays off for you in the long run. But when you go woke, go broke.
Amen, brother.
Yes.
Cheers to you.
Yes. When you go woke, you go broke. It's a good one, babe. What a
Amen,
shame.
brother.
What a shame.
All Bud products.
Or with fucking assault rifles, or drive over them with their trucks, or pew-pewing them with fucking assault rifles. Pew, 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 pew. Think that Anheuser-Busch, with all the research that they do and the millions of dollars that they sink into marketing, didn't calculate and account for you to have a temper tantrum and drop off as customers? They knew exactly what they were doing. They know that Gen Z, as they get older and older, are starting to age into drinking age. They know that Gen Z is far more enlightened and accepting and woke as you...
No. Gen Z is far more fucking retarded, confused, degenerate, lost.
Call it, embrace the LGBTQ plus community. So sacrificing you, no brainer. So Anheuser-Busch and companies like Anheuser-Busch, really, they're just playing the long game by aligning their views with their future customers' views. So it's not really you boycotting them more than it is them being willing to disregard you and leave you behind. Pew-pewing beer cans. What's wrong with you?
All right, guys. So we got to talk about Bud Light once again, as they went silent on social media amid the backlash, the massive backlash that they're getting from the Dylan Mulvaney.
I had a really clear job to do when
base to try to reach a new customer base. Take a look.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Mm-hmm.
And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Yeah, so you're seeing that.
So let me just talk about visuals for a second. It doesn't surprise me that this woman has such a fucking big mouth. It doesn't surprise me at all. And it doesn't surprise me that the amount of brain cells in this woman's head, it's fucking astonishing. The fact that these low IQ 304s can actually be promoted to these positions blows my fucking mind. When you are analyzing a business situation, you're looking at your company, you're looking at the future, you're looking at what you want to do. There are ways to gradually include a new audience while keeping your old audience. That's called growth. It's what I want to do on YouTube. I want to grow my channel to get bigger. It's what I'm trying to do on Rumble. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to expand these 15 people to be more than 15 people. Do you know how I don't do that? I don't do that by saying, you 15 people right here, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm going to do videos that are counter to everything that I've done up to this point that has earned your support. You 15 people here, I'm going to do videos promoting wokeness. I'm going to do videos saying that Anna Taylor-Joy was absolutely right to say that Peach should be modernized and she should be ruined and she should be turned into a, insufferable girl boss. I'm going to go to... I think Kathleen Kennedy was right when she, said that Star Wars was quality and always had been under her tenure. I think Will Smith was right when he called for the purge of Trump supporters in America. You understand? That would maybe attract more people. A couple more people. Not very many. But the people that had supported me up to that point would feel betrayed, and rightfully so. They would feel like, wait a minute, this guy, because he got some kind of new vision, is basically gonna say, fuck me? Well, you know what? Fuck him. Fuck that guy. He's an asshole. That's my point here. This big mouth, low IQ bimbo doesn't realize that her mentality of, bright colors and feelings and bullshit. This is women speak for nonsense. This is illiterate fucking gobbledygook nonsense. It's garbage. It means nothing. In the business world, this is mush. If a woman came to me and said this to me, I would fire her on the spot. Do you know why? Because it's damaging for the brand. Going out and making a public statement like this, I would never, ever, 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 ever do that. First of all, I would never do something with this type of background, just this pedestrian-looking bullshit. Oh, it's a rainbow flag. This woman would never, ever reach the upper echelons of a company that was being run on meritocracy. Because everything that she said, everything that she's done, every bit of herself as she's presented it is inferior, is stupid. She's talking about abandoning an entire core of the fan base to appease to new customers. So you're going to get rid of all the customers that you've had up to that point to appeal to a very small minority of hipster douchebags who, thanks Tim Pool, are probably not going to drink Bud Light anyway. They're probably going to drink these microbrew infusion avocado toast bullshit beers. They're not going to drink your Bud Light. So what you've done is appeal to an audience of pretentious, mentally ill cultists that are not going to buy your beer anyway. And you've alienated your core audience. That guy at the beginning of the video, this might as well be this might as well be the family member I talked about. He pretty much did that same thing. Dumped out his fucking mountain of Bud Lights. And now he's buying a new brand. I know it's not Natty Light he's getting. I know it's not Budweiser. I know it's not Michelob Ultra. I think he's getting Coors now. Now, if Coors comes out and fucks themselves like this, that'll be something. Maybe it's revealed that she's the new VP of Coors as well. This woman should be fired immediately. And I know some people say, well, I don't advocate for women losing their jobs or people losing their jobs. No, she should be fired because she's an idiot and she's a detriment to the brand. She doesn't understand business. Everything is, oh, isn't it so cool that I'm like in this position? This is not a serious woman. This is not an entrepreneur. This is not a woman who's forward thinking. This is a woman in her feelings talking about how great it is. Oh my God, we need to be like new and fresh. You do not ever, in a business sense, destroy your audience. And this is something that women do, which is why when it comes to women in these executive positions, I have zero respect. You look at Kathleen Kennedy. Her mentality was, well, Star Wars is toxic. It's for men. So what we need to do is make it for women. And how do we make it for women? By driving away the customers we have. I don't know if it's just brain dead bimbo white women that have this retarded mentality. But this is a problem because you do not grow by alienating your audience to attract a phantom new audience. You know that younger people are not going to be drinking Bud Light in this way. There are ways to market to a younger audience. You can make it flavored. You know, there are things that you can do that will keep your audience and maybe appeal to a younger audience. Maybe, you know, you've tried to go with seltzers and stuff like that, tried to appeal to the White Claw, faction. But this type of mentality is fucking retarded. And this is why I'm so honest with these women, is because, well, first of all, I don't want to fuck them. I'm not here to lie to them to make themselves feel better so that I can slide into their DMs. I'm just being honest. Now, if you say, well, you're mean to these women, but you're not mean to men. Have you heard how I've talked about Ethan Klein and Hassan Piker? Have you heard how I've talked about some of these people in political roles? I mean, Jesus Christ. No, I treat everyone equal. When women like this come on my screen and they tell me that as a business we need to evolve and grow and we need to make things bright and colorful, I say that bitch is fucking retarded, and she was either a lay hire, which based on her appearance, I would say the odds of that are very, very low. Besides the fact she doesn't look like she has much of a body. But the words that are coming out of her mouth, this woman is an imbecile. She is an absolute idiot and would be a detriment to any brand. I would not hire this woman to do anything. Because what can she do? My idea was to come in and we needed change. And that change came in the form of social justice and make it about me. And No. Change to a brand, to a company, usually does not align with what you believe in personally. Usually, it's not. Usually, it's probably the opposite, if I'm being honest. You don't put your own personal politics ahead of the brand, but these women do. In Star Wars it happened, YouTube it happened. It happens all the time, and that's why I'm here to say that if you are lucky enough to find one of the very few women who are competent and capable in these positions, grab her. Maybe that's a bad choice of words. I meant like grab her up, but add her to your team. Somebody like, for example, Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is a highly functional, intelligent, articulate, capable woman. You can tell by the way she speaks. You can tell by the way that she phrases things, that she thinks things through. She articulates it, if I can fucking articulate. She articulates it beautifully, perfectly. And that performance leaves a lasting impact, and she does a phenomenal job. Now, there are other women, can't think of any right now, that do a great job as well. But what we see across the board is it's these left-wing, Karen-type usually white women, but also Lizzo. I mean, phew, God, Lizzo, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I saw. Let me see if I can't find this because I want to punish all of you. Women's health, Lizzo. You think I'm making this up? You think I'm making this up? You think I'm making this up? Where is it? Oh, jeez, this wasn't it. I'm afraid to venture any further. Oh man, dare I go to Twitter? Oh boy. By the way, I am at fan_advocacy. Oh, ooh, oh my God! Oh Jesus! Whew. I wonder who the father was. God, maybe Finn got busy. Let's see. Women's health. Lizzo. Where the fuck is it? I know I saw it. Ugh. Where is it? I had a point to make. I wanted to pull it up. Now this is just bad. All right. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, and it's probably for the best, considering what I had to show you. Ooh. Oh man. All right. Anyway, yeah, we'll not bring that up. Anyway. So yeah, what I will end with, ladies and gentlemen, is please go subscribe to me on Rumble. Let's get this number up. Let's see if anyone else has joined. Nope. 15, baby. Let's get it to 20 by the end of the week. Let's see what we can do. So, yeah, I want to say thank you for watching. This is a bit of a longer video, but I think it's well worth it to talk about this stuff. Goddamn, there's just so much bullshit with this. God, man, these women are really, genuinely ruining these companies with this ridiculous woke idea. And it's just, yeah, anyway. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll see you next time.